Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be reviewing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Sorry, wrong movie. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be actually reviewing The Flash episode 21, Grodd Lives. And man, this was a really fun episode, so let's get into some of the details. So let's start off with everything that was happening to Eddie. Basically, Eddie was captured still from the last episode from Wells or Eobard Thawne. And yeah, Eobard, gives him his family history that he will be the lost and forgotten Thawne of the family. Why is that? Who knows? That got me a little bit curious. And not only that, but he even shows him the newspaper, which has evidence that Iris and Barry will one day get married. So he's like even breaking him down, saying, hey, look, buddy, your future ain't looking so bright. I like to believe, this is my theory here now, I like to believe that Eddie, maybe the reason he's the forgotten Thawne is because he's actually the last one that had redemption, the one that was actually good. This is my theory on what's going to happen. I think Eddie's going to go down as a hero. I don't know when, I don't know how. Maybe he's even, I don't know, something on the board that can change the future. Because let's think about it. If Eddie goes the right course and, changes his family a little bit, maybe he has the chance to make sure whatever bloodlines come from him, maybe he can influence them to be doing good instead of evil. Because we know from what, Wells here, or Thawne, Eobard, kind of hinted at, is that, no matter what, he's the last one that will, who cares about him? It will start with the next generation. So Eddie's son, basically, will be the one to really start, their conniving evil ways, I guess. And if Eddie can change that, maybe, maybe the future will be different. Maybe, Eobard or Wells, whatever you want to call him right now, maybe he'll be good in the future. Who knows? But there's a lot of ways they can really take this. And I'm curious to see what Eddie's role is becoming much more interesting now. In the beginning, he was just there. The only thing that made him interesting was his last name. But now he's really getting interesting, in my opinion. And I'm very curious to see where they're taking his character now. We also have Iris in this episode. From the last one, she figured out that, Barry is the Flash. And so you'd think that this would be like something like Smallville, where she'll keep it her own little secret for a while. But because these are the creators of Arrow, the writers, they don't waste no time, and they're like, no, Iris is gonna go up to Barry right now and let him know that she already knows. And that creates a little bit of drama in this episode because, Iris is pissed off at at him and her father that they kept the secret all this time. And I think she was a little bit too harsh once in a while, and this is where the little bit of the weakness of the episode comes. Not that I thought the Iris and Barry moments were bad. I just felt at times she was being a little bit too hard and not understanding enough. But I think Barry kind of threw it back to her face when he told, yeah, well, you kept the secret that you weren't in love with me. And then, are you? And she kind of hesitated there and thought about it and didn't say anything back. So she knew deep down that Barry was, telling her the truth. And it was cool seeing that Iris was now part of this team. She was not she's now, now that Wells is out, they're going to need someone new in the team. And Iris seems like she'll be a really nice fit. And this is where Iris is starting to be an improvement over some other women from other DC related shows. For an example, Lana, Laurel, and the worst of them all, Barbara. I think Iris has the potential right now to be the best of those four. And I'm really liking the way they're shaping her up. She still has her moments where it seems like she could go the way of those other characters. But right now, I really liked her in this episode. I just felt she was not borderline, but she could go that way, judging from how harsh she was to Barry, and she should be a little bit more understanding, in my opinion. Of course, the big stuff about this episode is not Eddie, not Iris, but Gorilla Grodd. We get our first glimpse of Grodd. Well, not our first glimpse, but we finally see Grodd going face to face against the Flash. Grodd, for those of you that don't know, is one of the Flash's ultimate enemies in the comics. And yeah, we're actually seeing him for the first time in live action. And wow, this was really cool. I really thought, when I first heard that Grodd was going to be entering the show, I didn't know how they were going to do this, because two things, they could have pulled it off. That was one of my thoughts. And my second thought was, this could be really cheesy. And I'm really happy the way things turned out. They had an eerie, creepy vibe going for it. I really liked everything that was going on. I really liked the mind control stuff too. That was really cool. Especially that they didn't let Grodd move his lips while talking. I thought that was... I think they did that more to save money on the animation, because when you make the gorilla or a CGI character talk, that costs a little bit of money in those scenes. So they probably, to make it a little bit cheaper on them, they probably thought, let's not make him move his mouth when he talks. That's just my theory on why they did that, and it was good either way, because I thought it worked. It worked for this episode. If he's telepathic, he can talk, through his mind, and I thought that was a really smart way of doing it. It kind of reminded me of Planet of the Apes. I really liked. Well, Planet of the Apes, they actually did talk and move their mouths, but that's because that was a higher budget blockbuster film. But what I mean by Planet of the Apes, the talking ape trying to take over, I thought that was really cool. And how, Joe and Barry were in the sewer trying to find him and all that, and the fight between Flash and Grodd was really cool. And I say that something, once again, CW shows that, like, this show has a pretty good damn special effects that, like, I was pretty impressed sometimes. I mean, it's not like Game of Thrones special effects, but for a CW show, I'm pretty impressed sometimes. I've seen some CW shows, even Arrow and Smallville and Supernatural. They all have special effects sometimes, but they're not at this standard. This was really, really cool to watch. I really enjoyed it, and the CGI could have brought it down, but they did a pretty damn good job. I'm gonna have to admit that. It was also great seeing Clancy Brown again, and he was mind controlled, which was pretty creepy. Funny enough, he was the guy in the beginning, and I was wondering I thought that was Grodd in the beginning, suited up in that Deathstroke type costume. And then when it turned out to be him, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, because I saw him in the previews, and I just didn't know how they were going to introduce him, and that was a cool way of having him right in the beginning. And then at the end there, Barry just let him free, and I thought Barry knew, though, that Eiling knew his secret, but I guess only Wells knew, or something like that. So I guess, yeah, everything turned out good, I guess. So, for the most part, guys, I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10. I really thought it was really great. A lot of fun. 2 more episodes left till the finale. This is going to be a sweet ride. Next week looks really cool. We got cool, no pun intended, because, Captain Cold is coming next week. It's going to be a really great ride to the finale. At the end there, Eobard apparently has his thing ready to go into the future. I don't know how that's going to work, but whatever is going to happen, you know, The Flash has been doing really great this year. It's its first season, and it hasn't. I don't think there's one episode so far that has really let me down. So, until next week, guys, take care.